So we are in the second stanza, starting with line 3. When I kept silent, my bones grew old, through my groaning all the day long. For day and night your hand was heavy upon me. My vitality was turned into the drought of summer. Selah. And it gives us a reference scripture to 1 Samuel 5:6. And now, just like in 31, we're going to have reference scriptures, and then we're going to have cross-reference scriptures as well, just to be able to get a great understanding on what the scripture is, what the Lord is telling us through his scripture. And so with this one, our reference scripture is 1 Samuel 5:6 that says, but the hand of the Lord was heavy on the people of Ashdod, and he ravished them and struck them with the tumors, both Ashdod and his territory. And they're saying that, the tumors were like probably like the bubonic plague or something like that. Now, so it's a reference scripture that David was saying that the Lord's hand was heavy on him. Why was the Lord's hand heavy on him? Well, because apparently David didn't deal with his unconfessed sin. And when you're God, you're going to have that heavy hand of conviction. We're going to have that on us until we confess that sin and forsake it. All right? So now check this out. In 1 Samuel 5, what happened is the reason why the Lord's hand was heavy on the people of Ashdod is because they stole the Ark of the Covenant. In the Philistines, they took the Ark of the Covenant and they brought it to Ebenezer to Ashdod. All right, so they brought it from Ebenezer to Ashdod, and this is going up to. Let's look at 1 Samuel 4:22. That says, and she said, the glory has departed from Israel, for the ark of God has been captured. All right, so the ark of God was captured. And then so going into 5, it says, then the Philistines took the ark of God and brought it from Ebenezer to Ashdod. When the Philistines took the ark of God, they brought it into the house of Dagon and set it by Dagon. So Dagon was a Philistine idol. And verse 3, and when the people of Ashdod arose early in the morning, there was Dagon fallen on its face to the earth before the ark of the Lord. So they took Dagon and set it in its place again. Verse 4, and when they arose early the next morning, there was Dagon fallen on its face to the ground before the ark of the Lord. The head of Dagon and both the palms of its hands were broken off on the threshold. Only the torso of Dagon was left of it. Therefore, neither the priests of Dagon nor any who come into Dagon's house tread on the threshold of Dagon and in Ashdod to this day. And this is our key reference scripture. But the hand of the Lord was heavy on the people of Ashdod, and he ravaged them and struck them with tumors, both Ashdod and its territory. And when the men of Ashdod saw how it was, they said, the ark of the God of Israel must not remain with us, for his hand is harsh toward us, and Dagon our God. So they're saying that their God is punishing their little idol and themselves. All right. Therefore they sent and gathered to themselves all the lords of the Philistines and said, what shall we do with the ark of the God of Israel? And they answered, let the ark of the God of Israel be carried away to Gath. So they carried the ark of the God of Israel away. And so it was after they had carried it away that the hand of the Lord was against the city with a very great destruction, and he struck the men of the city. both small and great, and tumors broke out on them. Now, I read that, all of that, to say this. God does not play around with sin. He's not going to play around with sin at all. And so what happened is, instead of the people of Ashdod surrendering to the presence of God that was in the ark of God, they would rather cast him away and take a deadbeat idol over the living God. And you still have people doing that today. That instead of surrendering to God, knowing that God, he can bless and God can curse. All right? But they still choose to hang on to the things that don't mean them any good. All right? And so, and you still have people going through that today. But in another thing with that, I want to point out before we break, is that God is not, he's holy. And he's not going to share his throne with anyone, especially a Philistine idol. And so, and that's why when they kept waking up every morning, it was either face down, or, and the next morning the thing, arms and the head, were off. God is not playing. He's God, and he's God all by himself. I see you in the next segment.